Shalom, I hope you all are doing well. I am blessed and I'm back again with a quick video. Today we're going to be reading from the book of Jubilees, chapter 23, regarding end-time prophecies. But first, I would like to take some time to thank my new subscribers and those who bought a badge to join me and other Super Truth Seekers. And for those of you who are interested in Hebrew merch, you can visit my store at Art by LaShawn Shop. If you want to support my channel, you can find all the links in the description box. Thanks for your support, family. Now let's jump right into the video.
In my whole entire life of seeing fires and seeing fires spread, I have never seen a fire like the fire that is going on right now in California. And honestly, it's looking very biblical. Think about it. You have the most expensive pieces of real estate being burned right now. You have cars stuck on highways. You have people losing everything right now. 80-mile-per-hour winds, which is making the fire even worse to contain. What's going on? As a human being, this is one of the most scariest things that you can see. You have people that work so hard for what they have, losing everything. And to top it off, more than 50,000 people are under evacuation order. 50,000 people. Where are 50,000 people going to immediately go? Even the mayor, Karen Bass, said that everything is predicted to get worse. Firefighters can't even stop what's going on right now. Think about all the animals that they have there, pets, things of that nature. The Pasadena Jewish temple is burnt to the ground. Pay attention. In my whole entire life of seeing fires and seeing fires spread, I have never seen a fire like the fire that is going on right now in California.
The prophecies mentioned in YAH'S, or Jubilees, chapter 23, verses 11 through 15, focuses on the impending day of judgment and the predetermined course of events destined to happen to the wicked and the righteous. It is important to note that as we read these verses, one Jubilee equals 50 years. And as a consequence of sin that has exceedingly abounded, the Most High has decreased our years of life. YAH'S, chapter 23, starting at verse 11 reads, "And all the generations which shall arise from this time until the day of the great judgment shall grow old quickly before they complete 2 Jubilees. And their knowledge shall forsake them by reason of their old age, and all their knowledge shall vanish away. And in those days, if a man shall live a Jubilee and a half of years, they shall say regarding him, he has lived long, and the greater part of his days are pain and sorrow and tribulation, and there is no peace. For calamity follows on calamity, and wound on wound, and tribulation on tribulation, and evil report on evil report, and illness on illness, and all evil judgments such as these, one with another, illness and overthrow, and snow and frost and ice, and fever and chills, and torpor, and famine and death, and sword and captivity, and all kinds of calamities and pains. And all these shall come on an evil generation, which transgresses on the earth. Their works are uncleanness, and fornication, and pollution, and abominations. Then they shall say, the days of the forefathers were many, even unto 1,000 years, and were good. But behold, the days of our life, if a man has lived many, are 60 years and 10. And if he is strong, 80 years, and those evil, and there is no peace in the days of this evil generation." So our forefathers lived hundreds of years righteously, keeping Yah's laws, statutes, and commandments in obedience. But our generations only live about 70, and if we are strong, 80 years. A short life, and there is no peace in our days, because we went astray from the Most High's covenant. As the Most High previously said, 2 Jubilees or 100 years is all we get here on this wicked earth, because we are living in that evil generation. But as you can see, we are lucky to live even 80 years. In this day, people will say that 70 years is a long life. This is hard for me to wrap my mind around, since our forefathers lived many years even unto thousands of good years, because they were obedient. Speaking of generations, have any of you had to tell your elders this biblical truth? Have you had to tell your parents or grandparents that the Shabbat is the seventh day of the week and not the first? Have you had to tell them that the holidays that they passed down to you to celebrate with your children were wicked? Have you had to tell your elders that the Christianity doctrine is a lie and it is not our culture? Have you had to be the one to tell them that according to Scripture, we have been eating unclean foods? And another question, did they consider what you told them? The sad truth of this is, our own elders in our generation do not want to consider the biblical truth, nor do they want to turn back to our Father Yah, who is righteous. You're going to see in YAH'S chapter 23, starting at verse 16, that at the end of this age, the remnant will have a very important role in the awakening of our elders. YAH'S chapter 23, starting at verse 16 reads, "And in that generation the sons shall convict their fathers and their elders of sin and unrighteousness, and of the words of their mouth, and the great wickedness which they perpetrate, and concerning their forsaking the covenant which Yahuwah made between them and him, that they should observe and do all his commandments and all his ordinances and all his Torah, without departing either to the right hand or the left." Verse 17, "For all have done evil, and every mouth speaks iniquity, and all their works are an uncleanness and an abomination. And all their ways are pollution, uncleanness, and destruction. Behold, the earth shall be destroyed on account of all of their works, and there shall be no seed of the vine, and no oil, for their works are altogether faithless. And they shall all perish together, beast and cattle and birds, and all the fish of the sea, on account of the children of men. And they shall strive one with another, the young with the old, and the old with the young, the poor with the rich, the lowly with the great, and the beggar with the prince, on account of the Torah and the covenant, for they have forgotten commandment, and covenant, and feast, and months, and Shabbats. And they shall stand swords and war to turn them back into the way, but they shall not return until much blood has been shed on the earth, one by another." Family, I know this looks like a very dark time, and the chances of survival may look very grim, but I assure you, as we continue to read YAH'S 23, you're going to find that there's going to be a new world and a new order. And not the new world order of wickedness, but of righteousness.
Go ahead and call me crazy. This is a jet. This is a helicopter. Watch. Why is this important? A Black Hawk helicopter flew into a commercial jet over the Potomac River in Washington, D.C. Oh, it was just an accident. It was just an accident. I'll die before you convince me of that. Come at me, bro. Why don't you think it's an accident? Let me give you a little backstory on this. I don't know who was on the plane. I don't know who was in the helicopter. Okay, what I do know is that in that area of the Potomac River, it's common for helicopters to fly around. They're supposed to stay at or below 200 feet AGL, which is above ground level. That helicopter collided with that plane at 350 foot above ground level, somewhere it was not supposed to be. The airplane was in a landing pattern coming into the airport with its landing lights on. And you mean to tell me that the super crazy high amount of technology that's in this military helicopter, and with the pilots flying under visual flight rules, that those two pilots, there were 3 people aboard the helicopter, that those 2 pilots didn't see that plane and they didn't try to avoid it? You mean to tell me that those highly trained, highly skilled pilots didn't see the plane? That's not even why I'm questioning all of this. This is where it happened. Who's this guy? That guy right there is this guy. This guy flown by the Air Force. What's the significance of that? This is the plane I'm talking about that landed at Andrews Air Force Base just next to where this shit happened. Why was a Boeing E-4 known as the Night Watch or the Doomsday plane, which is a militarized version of the Boeing 747 that serves as a mobile command post for the U.S. military and is a key component of the National Military Command System, which is designed to survive a nuclear attack? Why was that diverted right after this happened and then landed at Andrews Air Force Base right next to the Potomac River? Why? That's not suspicious. This helicopter had to have seen this plane. I don't know why. I don't know what led to it. Call me a conspiracy theorist all you want. It's weird. Go ahead and call me crazy.
All right, let's take it full here. Look at that. And you see the nighttime sky light up in orange. Wow. In the meantime here, Fox 29 in Philadelphia is in breaking news coverage of this. Let's listen.
This is Jason Martinez here in the Fox 29 newsroom. You are looking at what's being described as a plane crash in Northeast Philadelphia. This is doorbell camera provided by a viewer. Left of your screen, you saw the fireball come out of the sky. Again, this is being described to us as a plane crash, Northeast Philadelphia, in the area of Bustleton and Cotman Avenues. You saw the left of your screen, the fireball come right out. Take another closer look. There. And so this just happening here in the last 20 minutes or so. Again, Northeast Philadelphia. I believe we have Steve Keeley in the area on the phone. Steve, what can you tell us? Do we have Steve? We do not appear to have Steve at the moment. As soon as we get him, we'll bring it to you. But again, viewer-provided video from a doorbell camera in Northeast Philadelphia showing a fireball fall out of the sky. Of course, the Northeast Philly Airport, just less than a mile away from this location. And so a lot of viewers have been calling our newsroom and telling us that they believe this was a plane crash.
What's unfortunate to me is that even though people will escape these plagues, many of them still will not return to the Most High. They will become even more wicked. Yovalim chapter 23, starting at verse 21 says, "And those who have escaped shall not return from their wickedness to the way of righteousness, but they shall all exalt themselves to deceit and wealth, that they may each take all that is his neighbor's, and they shall name the great name, but not in truth, and not in righteousness. And they shall defile the holy holies with their uncleanness and the corruption of their pollution. And a great punishment shall befall the deeds of this generation from Yahuwah. And he will give them over to the sword, and to judgment, and to captivity, and to be plundered and devoured. And he will wake up against them the sinners of the other nations, who have neither mercy nor compassion, and who shall respect the person of none, neither old nor young, nor anyone, for they are more wicked and strong to do evil than all the children of men. And they shall use violence against Israel, and transgression against Jacob, and much blood shall be shed upon the earth, and there shall be none to gather and none to bury. In those days they shall cry aloud, and call and pray, that they may be saved from the hand of the sinners, the other nations, but none shall be saved. And the heads of the children shall be white with gray hair, and a child of 3 weeks shall appear old like a man of 100 years. And their stature shall be destroyed by tribulation and oppression. And in those days the children shall begin to study the Torah, and to seek the commandments, and to return to the path of righteousness. And the days shall begin to grow many and increase amongst those children of men, till their days draw nigh to 1,000 years, and to a greater number of years than before was the number of the days. And there shall be no old man, nor one who is satisfied with his days, for all shall be as children of youths. And all their days shall be complete, and live in peace and in joy. And there shall be no Satan, nor any evil destroyer, for all their days shall be days of blessing and healing. And at that time Yahuwah will heal his servants, and they shall rise up and see great peace, and drive out their adversaries. And the righteous shall see and be thankful, and rejoice with joy forever and ever, and shall see all their judgments and all their curses on their enemies. And their bones shall rest in the earth, and their ruach shall have much joy, and they shall know that it is Yahuwah who executes judgment, and shows mercy to hundreds and thousands, and to all that love him. And do you, Moshe, write down these words, for thus are they written, and they record them on the heavenly tablets, for a testimony for the generations forever. Prophecies of Yovelim, chapter 23, tells us the signs of the end of this age, how there will be increasing wickedness, a shortening of human lifespan due to sin and disobedience to the commandments. It also explains the effects of sin across many generations, and how as people turn away from righteousness and ignore the commandments, they will face various troubles like sickness, strife, and extreme calamities. How many of you can identify how these prophecies parallel in this current time? With more decay, environmental crisis, and widespread conflict, this all seems to reflect what's described in Jubilees. But at the same time, there's also a growing movement towards spiritual awakening as people are seeking biblical truth, in which we are calling the Great Awakening. Do you feel like the world today mirrors these prophecies in Jubilees? Or do you think that all the calamities that have come upon the earth are just happening by chance? And what do you expect tribulations to be like if this isn't it? If you are like me and can see the clear signs of the end of this age, then you should know, like a fingerprint in time, we have arrived at the end of this wicked kingdom. I have to tell all you Christians that the rapture is not going to take you, because we're already in tribulations. And seeing that you're still here, you have to know that there will be no escape from the tribulation period. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. And remember Matthew chapter 24 and verse 13, he that endures until the end, the same shall be saved. And until my next video, shalom. It was just sitting there, almost like it was observing us. I don't care what anybody says, family. After what I just seen, these drones are definitely shape-shifting. Because initially, it looked like a bright star just sitting in the sky. But when we got up to look at it, it was too big to be a star and too bright. Anyway, when I started recording it, that's when it began to move toward us, and it actually flew over my home. And it kind of sounded like a light jet sound.
So the orbs are everything. The orbs are UFOs. The orbs are angels. The orbs are even drones. So I just listened to Chris Bledsoe and Ryan Bledsoe on the Bledsoe Said So podcast. And Chris was talking about his definition of the orb and how the orb is so important and fundamental to this whole phenomenon. So he was actually invited to mission control with NASA. The reason the government and NASA is so interested in him is because of the orbs, because they figured out something extremely interesting, that the orbs are the source of almost all of the UFO and UAP activity. So we see all these different craft, pyramids and saucers and, all these different cylindrical crafts and all these different types of crafts. So we think there's all these different crafts coming from different star systems and different aliens and whatever. Well, what they're finding out now, according to Chris, is that no, the orbs are basically able to project and manifest and materialize in any shape and form that they need to. That they're actually plasma orbs, and plasma is the fourth state of matter, and I think it should be called the first state of matter, because now the NASA scientists think that plasma makes up about 99.9% of the universe. And plasma is actually an old Greek word that means to fold and to make form, which basically means that plasma is this intelligent material that can fold and form into anything it needs to. So what do we see with, like, let's say, the drones? Well, what Chris says is that he thinks that we sent the drones up to basically harass these orbs, and then the orbs started harassing the drones by mimicking them and basically turning into planes and drones and whatever they wanted to, which is what people on the ground are saying. They're saying they're seeing an orb, and then all of a sudden it morphs into an airplane or a helicopter or a drone, and it doesn't look right. Something's just off. Well, evidently, what he thinks is that this is just a mimicry that the orbs do. They can do whatever they want, right? So this started with NASA, of these astronauts in the International Space Station looking out the window and saying that they saw orbs turn into like 120-foot tall angels, essentially. These big, glowing apparitions in space, right? Imagine seeing that in space, a 120-foot tall angel, right? And then people on the ground constantly talk about how they see orbs first, and then it turns into a pyramid-shaped craft or a disc-shaped craft or whatever. So even Chris's experiences, with the beings and the lady and everything always start off as orbs of light. So these orbs are coming into our physical reality, and they don't exist in our physical reality. They come into our physical reality, and then they can basically manifest into anything that they want. Going back to the 1800s and the airship mysteries, always started with orbs, and the, Native American tribes, I would see like the glowing canoes, and that was their version, So it's like they can kind of take on whatever form they need to for the, cultural and consciousness perspective of the viewer, and they can render however they need to. But all these things, angels and apparitions and UFOs and everything, seem to be coming from orbs. These plasma, intelligent, conscious orbs that are spiritual by nature. And he says that this is leading us somewhere, that they are going to start, they already are, showing themselves in far greater numbers, far closer contact, and they're leading us up. They want us to be comfortable with this because they're going to have some big reveal for us. They feel that we are on the precipice of doing something stupid, and they're going to intervene, and that they're getting us ready so it's not a big shock to the system. So expect to see more orbs because this is all part of the plan, evidently. And the orbs is the actual source, but then they can manifest, project, and form into anything they need to accomplish whatever it is that they're trying to accomplish at that point. So anyways, very fascinating stuff. Go listen to the rest of the interview and let me know what you guys think.
More praise. Most days I wish the fam was immune from old age. Feel like time is moving fast but in a slow pace. Feeling okay, it's been a year, truth seems like it's out of phase. Darker things come to light like shade. It's on the front page, saying aliens is out the ocean. Dosing them with fear devoted to the master plan that has been decoded. Floating over the track, giving glory to Yah. Walk down the path chosen, show them the way like Moses. Being strong and never folding, like the laundry loaded. False prophets, got them on the TV talking nonsense, trying to misdirect your subconscious. Waiting on the kingdom, know it won't be long now. Reaching for the mountaintop, hoping we don't fall down. Everybody scheming, but money ain't my God. A tool to be used can squeeze life like a python.